I need somebody to work on this shit. Ah, ah, ah. I'm like, ridiculously slow. Monica, I was having the devil trying to get this crazy thing working tonight. Oh my God, girl. Oh,
Okay.
I know. I'm working on it. All right. I'm getting messages.
Okay. Can you see me?
Oh my goodness, goodness, goodness. All right, girl.
Can
I
you
think
hear
we
me?
are. Okay, got it. I think we are ready. Can you hear me?
Okay.
All right.
Let me see. Oh, there we go.
Hi,
Can you
girl.
hear me?
I think we are. Oh, give me 1 second, Monica. I gotta turn off one of my volumes.
Okay.
Okay. See, I shouldn't be getting the feedback now.
Let me take it off of my phone. So that may be the issue.
I think it was me, girl. I've been having some crazy problems over here.
You know what? It's a snow day. It's, everything is going on outside. It is what it is. People were out of power. People have power for hours and hours on end. So it happens.
Taking off jewelry. Let me tell you.
Welcome to the world of 99% technology. Everything is 99% driven technology. That's just what it is.
It's been crazy. Real life is happening around me. My son has a crisis going on where he got a call that a friend of his committed suicide right before I walked in here to get ready to go live. So this is real life. So for those that are watching us on Facebook, this is real life. These are the things that we are all dealing with. Life. So in the midst of me trying to do this, I'm trying to tell him, find out for sure, and let's process that. So let you don't respond because you just heard something. I don't know where my camera just went, but don't respond because you just heard something. Let's find out for sure. So that's the crazy I've been dealing with in the midst of this technology getting all wacky. And Facebook, I think Facebook intentionally is blocking me. So
I'm not surprised. Let's put it that way. I'm not surprised by Facebook. I'm
Right.
never surprised by anything that Facebook does.
You better know it. So, but here we are. So let me check in. I need to check behind the screen here for Facebook real quick.
Okay, and let me get my computer link together here too. So give me
Yeah,
just a second.
you can do all of that. And
Okay.
the people are actually watching us live.
Oh, wow. How many people?
Just a few people. It's what it is.
Oh my God.
So we're gonna go ahead and share this and
Okay.
push it out. I heard that my video is freezing, and it probably is because there's snow on the ground.
Yeah. So that's to be expected.
Exactly. So let's see. I do see that we are definitely live. So I could have said a few things that you guys might have been like, what in the world are you talking about? Yeah, I was over here talking to myself and on my phone as well. All right, so Monica.
Like the top, sis, like the top. I started to pull out a top similar to that, but then I said, Monica, let's just tone it down just a tad. However, I approve. I approve. So moving forward, you will see me in some tops similar to that. So, but I approve. Good job.
Get myself together. So I had to put something on because I knew you were coming. And I wanted to kind of, be all right.
But you did your thing, sweetie.
I did okay. Okay.
You did good. You did good. You did good.
All right. Okay. All right. So we are doing a wonderful live tonight. Hey, sis. Hey, you all right? And for those of you that are just joining us, I know this is not my typical intro. This has been a wacky intro. But I'm here with my girl, Monica Wiley. Monica Wiley, there's so much I could say about her. You are going to learn a lot about Miss Monica as the next 6 to 14 weeks rolls on. I don't know how long she's going to stay with me, but Monica and I have committed to doing a 6-week by 6-week show where we are, hey sis, hey, you all right? And then we're going to do, hey brother, hey, you all right? And if Monica's still here with me, you'll get to learn a lot more about Monica at that time as well. But we'll be here every Monday every Monday at, I think we're doing 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, yes.
7 p.m. So get used to Monica, get to know Monica. I love Monica. We will probably be able to kind of talk about how we met over the, I don't know how many years now, but at some point. But tonight, we're just gonna do the damn thing because I'm trying to get my mind together after hearing what my son just told me, and because life is happening around us. So Monica.
Yes, ma'am.
Monica Wiley, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into all the things?
Okay. So, of course, again, Monica Wiley. I am very active and involved in the political sector. I call myself a pit bull in a skirt when it comes to disability rights in the political sector. Yes. And I love to shop, travel, love to read. I consider myself a fashionista on a cane. I will talk about that later for those who don't know the story about me walking with a cane. But of course, that doesn't stop me from anything, as Queenie is well aware of. I don't let no grass grow under my feet, as my grandmother, which I call Pistol Patty, that was my mom's mother. She will always say, "You don't let no grass grow under your feet." She would be correct. She was correct. Right. Yes. And so that's just pretty much me. That's just me. I love to dance. I love to just have a good time and pursue my dreams and endeavors. I can be a piece of work, I've been told.
Yes.
But in a good way though, a little sassy. I'm a little sassy. Let me just keep it real. I'm all the way sassy. Let's just go ahead and keep that 100. Yeah. That's pretty much me.
Yes. So Monica, first of all, I want to thank you for joining me here at the Relationship Zone, where I talk about all things love, life, and relationships. And I think we're going to have a ball these next few weeks. I'm so looking forward to it. I'm asking you to bring all of that over here, all that personality, all of that, all that wisdom, all of that knowledge, all of that opinion, all of those experiences. They are safe here at the Relationship Zone. We are going to get into it, talking to our ladies over the next few weeks. And we have some amazing guests that are coming to the show. Of course, I'm so excited about that. And then I want them to get an opportunity to get to know you, and we get to know them. And yeah, it's just nice to kind of have a partner up here, partner in crime for the next few weeks. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So Monica, I guess I would love to kick this off by, first of all, thanking everyone for joining us, and ask that you guys share. Please share it, even if you don't watch it all night, just share it, because we want to make sure that we get the algorithm going for the next few weeks so that people will be getting their notifications for the Relationship Zone. I think Facebook is mad at me because of some of the things I posted, and they've locked me out several times to put me in jail. So they make it a little difficult for me to go live on my platform. So I need you guys to help me with that by sharing the content for me. All of the whole series, actually, Monica, will be on YouTube as well. So you'll be able to share it. It will also be on the Relationship Zone, the podcast also, which people can listen to on Spotify, Google, Apple Podcasts. Girl, I'm all over the place. So they can find the Relationship on the podcast. Yeah, they can be driving down the street, honey, and just let it play. Don't have to look at a video. But of course, I think they want to see your pretty face. So.
And I'm sure they definitely want to see yours as well.
Oh, stop. They're tired of me. I know I'm tired of me.
I mean, you are doing it with that top. I am loving that top. Well,
now the top. I mean, the top is a whole nother story. So, Monica, as you know, tonight's show is unscripted. We're just chatting a bit. The next shows, of course, will be a little more organized and more intentional. Not that this one is not intentional. It's just that this is our girl talk. This is just you and I tonight. And when our company comes, we'll make sure our house is clean. So
absolutely.
So
we'll behave a little bit more.
We'll behave a little bit more. We'll be a little more refined. But tonight we're going to just enjoy ourselves. So you and I, we spoke earlier, and I said, I want to kick off this conversation with a hot topic. And a hot topic that we agreed upon is, of course, one of my favorite beautiful actresses and model, which is Megan Good, and her husband, soon to be divorced ex-spouse, Devon Franklin. So much information out there about these two and their their marriage, right? Their marriage, their breakup, their weight, their books, they're all the things. I want to get this conversation started with you sharing a little bit about your opinion on these two. Yeah, tell me how you feel about the news, the new news of them breaking up. And I'm drinking some margarita over here. So
Okay.
I'm gonna sip my margarita while you share with all of us how you feel about their breakup.
Okay, well, you do that because I have my glass of wine sitting over here as well. So great minds think alike. You know, their breakup was a bit devastating to me in a sense because, and I know that you shouldn't try to model behind someone else's marriage or look at their marriage as, the best marriage that you would want to have in your own marriage whenever you get married. But the reason why I value their relationship, their union that I felt that God sanctioned was because he was a minister and, loved to minister to people, was very positive, yet easygoing, and was very supportive. And Megan was also cool and supportive, was a lover of Christ, and they prayed together. And of course, I'm sure they had their ups and downs, clearly. Every marriage, every relationship does. But from what we saw, and from the examples that they showed, which people need to be mindful that what you see on social media isn't always what it appears to be.
You better tell it.
It's not what it always appears to be. And that's why when I see some individuals, when they're posting, pictures of, who they're with, who they're married to or engaged to. And while I support that, and I'm happy, especially if it's a Black couple, Black love, I'm all about it. All about the Black men, all about the Black love, all about it. We just need to be mindful that what we see is not what it always appears. And out of the couple, Devon Franklin was actually my favorite because his brother is a pastor of a church in Baltimore. And I followed Devon Franklin. I like the wisdom because I'm all about wisdom. I love people that are deep thinkers. So he was a deep thinker. And then he would back up his deep thinking with wisdom, with knowledge that was coming from the Bible, coming from the books that he read. And so I saw him a couple of times at his brother's church in Baltimore. Amazing speaker, just has a beautiful spirit, and was all about making sure that you be the best version that you strive to be in your relationship, but then also as an individual as well. Because if you're striving to be the best person that you can be, then you're only going to bring that and be of an added value to your relationship. Yeah. And so when I would hear him speak and I would hear him talk and I would hear him just minister, and the way that he ministers and the way that he just brings, it's almost as if he brings life to you because he can feel from that energy, and he connects with that energy. And he would let you know that, hey, it's okay to feel this way. It's okay to have your ups and downs. That doesn't make you less of a person. That doesn't make it that you're not able to be loved, that you're not able to feel love and to feel nurture and to feel cared for. So he was my favorite out of the couple. So to see that this union is now broken, it definitely just speaks to what we need to do as individuals, what our expectations are, and be reminded of why we were brought together from the beginning. Yes. If it was, in my opinion, if it was sanctioned by God, if he is the one that supported this union and said, this is who I have for you, then we need to constantly be reminded of why we came together, what our goals and expectations are of being together. And then as we grow and as we evolve individually and collectively, to remember back to that foundation. We miss a lot of the foundation when we get caught up in our endeavors and in our dreams. You know me, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep it honest.
Go ahead.
That's me all day long. Even with my friends, with my best friend, I can get so caught up in my goals and my dreams that I will forget that, these are relationships. These are people that live in my heart. And so I should make sure that I carve out time for them, even if it's just 5 minutes, even if it's just to say, hey, was thinking about you. I love you. being able to be free and show your vulnerability and show that love for that person and let that person know that, yes, I see, that you're busy, or they will see that you're busy, but they also see that you've taken the time to find a balancing act with that. And I struggle with that. That is my biggest struggle. And that's one of my biggest fears of even being in a committed relationship is, will I be able to find that balancing act? And so it takes us collectively in a couple, and as individuals, to be reminded of what brought us together, that foundation, that solid foundation. Never let cracks, never let Lucifer get a foothold in that foundation. And that's the way I feel about it.
Yeah. You said so much in there that I can relate to. Your favorite was Devon Franklin. I absolutely adore him. I think his heart really, really, really exuded peace and love and joy and grounded spirituality and intentionality, and that's beautiful. It's beautiful. But of course, I have this adoration with Megan Good. She was like just on fire internally with him. It was beautiful to see the love that they displayed for each other. I have no doubt that there's a genuine love for each other.
Absolutely.
But as we all know, we're humans, and that human factor can get us caught up every single time. We don't know what happened in the marriage. At some point, maybe they'll disclose, and still they will never tell the whole story because it's none of our business. But I think you're so spot on when you say, like, the things that we see is not really always what is. I think it's beautiful to display love. I love. I mean, my nickname is Queenie Love, and I exude love and all things love, and I encourage love. And, I don't know if I'm gonna ever find love again, but
we're not going to speak that into existence. No,
I know, but because I know,
we're not accepting that.
Because I know love is so fleeting sometimes, and because I'm probably not as tolerant as I used to be. This is why I say it that way. I don't have that same tolerance. However, I was rooting for them. I think that even 9 years is still greatly successful.
Absolutely.
Forever is nice. Yep, you do. Oh, forever is nice, but forever is not always everybody's story. And so I respect and I applaud them for putting in the time and the work that they did, even to lay the foundation of waiting before they became intimate. Having this agreement of what they want for themselves and for their future. Because for me, I believe they tried, right? And some of us don't even give that much effort at all. We just jump in and think it's supposed to work. We don't even put things in place. And then it falls apart. And then we're left with resentment and blaming everybody. But the truth of the matter is that we didn't even build a foundation. But I think the lesson in this is, it doesn't matter how much of a foundation you build. It doesn't matter how much work you put into that relationship. Human factors will always supersede anything else that you try to do if you allow it. There is a human factor that likely broke that marriage up. Whatever that is, I don't know, but it's something, right? And that's what happens to all of us. I've seen people all over Facebook and I sent you some links. I mean, people they're really bad, they're really bad, and they dragging them about, their book writing and the business part of it all and telling their story and ministering to people. But I still believe that they did a lot of good in showing their relationship, showing us the possibilities. For those of us that are a little bit jaded and a little cynical about relationships, God knows, them breaking up didn't make it any better. But I am saying this, it still gave some of us hope. And some people started on a path of healthy relationships because they followed them. They saw them. They read those books. And those people hopefully are still in those loving and kind and healthy relationships. It still comes down to the bottom line of you and me in this relationship. How are we going to manage ourselves? And I just think that they did probably the best that they could. and hopefully they can remain friends or whatever afterwards. But they had such a beautiful love story, such a beautiful love story.
It was a great love story.
It was beautiful.
It was a great love story. And, it's interesting, the opinions of the public when something, when people are glorified, couples are glorified, and then, unfortunately, the foundation crumbles and everything is just shattered. And so then they say, oh, well, like you said about the books that they written together and was talking about their love and their dedication, commitment to remaining celibate until they got married. And so a lot of people and a lot of couples are feeling like, oh, well, then they must have lied in their book. No, they were living that. That is an actual truth. That was their truth. That was their real at that time, at that moment. It doesn't make it any less real, false, negative, or anything. That was the actual truth. Yeah. And it is still their truth. It's just now, like you said, the human factors come into play. And so we have to figure out how we manage ourselves individually and then how we manage ourselves collectively, and just be reminded about what brought us together and what we need to do in terms of managing what brought us together. Yes. And making sure that we remember, again, what brought us together, and try our best not to allow external forces enter into a union that was put together from the beginning. Yeah.
Okay. So with all of that being said, again, we do not know what happened in their marriage. I get it. We can totally, guess and figure out and think and, assume a few things. But I wonder what it's like being two powerhouses, right? Being able to live your truth and be married at the same time in Hollywood as well. I mean, it's hard doing that right here where I'm a little nobody, right? So I can imagine that every time I turn around, there is paparazzi, a camera, someone writing a story about my movement, what I'm wearing, what I'm not wearing, about my ministry, about my wife, my husband. I cannot imagine what that would be like. So I would not be surprised if that also played a part in it. So with that being said, Monica, have you ever been married?
I have never been married.
Okay, so the people don't want to know this girl. I've been married a couple times.
You look good though. You're still standing. You look good. You're still standing, and the right king is waiting for you. Like I tell a couple of my girlfriends, you know what? Right now he's just navigating. He's gonna hit a few bumps, some detours, but he's on his way to you. Just hold tight.
Wait, but Monica, I'm not 100% sure that marriage is my end goal. And that's a whole nother conversation. I know. Okay. I believe in love. Now, love finding me is, love finds me. It's not always the right love, but love finds me, ladies.
Right, exactly.
It does. Like you probably find many of you, but then you're like, wait a minute. Wait, this is a different kind of love here. Now, wait, hold up. But I mean, just, like, honestly, like, just imagine like being in their shoes, right? Trying to, just any of us trying to manage our relationships, right? How we show up in our love relationships, in our intimate partner relationships. And then you yourself, because you're a powerhouse. You have such a bright future.
So are you.
You're educated.
So are you.
But imagine getting with a man that's equally the same, that probably has more traditional values. That, I'm telling you, it always winds up being a problem when that woman is a dreamer. And this is something I realized after getting myself involved situation like with a dreamer that never wanted to hold me back from pursuing my dreams. I'd never experienced that before in my life. But of course, that was a situationship. So it wasn't like it was something that was going to be long-term ever. It was never meant to be that. But it showed me what I know for sure I needed, me being the dreamer and the creative that I am. And so that is a problem for the gentleman that likes more of the traditional lady friend, right? So you being a dreamer, I know you are an amazing spirit. You have a lot ahead of you, and you're hungry and you go for it and you speak up about that. How do you see dating a man that could possibly like more of the traditional lady.
That is so interesting that you pose this question. Wow.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
So I don't even know where to begin with this question.
Girl, because you know, like I know, it can become problematic. You have to make yourself small.
It was
to make
problematic.
them comfortable. Yes.
It was problematic in my last relationship.
I'm drinking. Go ahead. I'm drinking.
To the point where he would come to, well, was wanting to come to the job and sit with me at the job after hours for hours on end if I did not break up with him. And it's interesting because he was the type that said, when we first got together, I made it very clear. I said, listen, I am not where I want to be. I am very focused. I am very determined. I have gotten here to DC. And if you can support this, if you can embrace what I'm doing, just know that if I'm successful, you're successful. You want to know why you're successful? Because you're supporting me and vice versa. If you're successful, I'm successful. Why? Because I'm supporting you. So I need you to be, patient, be as supportive, and remind me of things that I said that I would do, because I would get so caught up in goals and endeavors that, when you're in politics and you go to these different events and you're mingling, you're interacting with people, you get home after 9, 10 o'clock at night, and you be saying to yourself, I really don't feel like calling him. And it's not because I don't want to. I mean, physically, I don't want to. Internally and emotionally, yes, I do. But physically, I'm exhausted. I don't want to. I just want to take this makeup off, take these clothes off, roll over, go to bed, and get ready for the next move or the next goal or the next event that I'm trying to attend, right? Mm-hmm. So it got to a point with him where he wanted to attend every event that I was at, every function that I was going to, wanted to connect with every person that I connected with to let these individuals know, yes, I am with her. Yes, and yes. At a few of the events, he would, for the most part, be up under me, mm-hmm. for the simple fact that he wanted everyone to know this is who he was with. And again, there has to be a balance. Of course, you don't mind the person that you're dating to attend events with you from time to time, but they should not be at every function, because they should also be working on, their own goals and their own endeavors and their own development professionally, right? And so this individual was traditional, claimed to, oh no, baby, I support you. I am with you. I got you. I know you're going to be traveling and everything. That is fine. Absolutely. But then acted up. I mean, would pick fights with me just so I would have a mindset not to go.
That's right.
But see, little did he know. He must have known me as well as he thought he knew me. Because I don't care how upset you are. At the end of the day, Monica's going to go. Monica's going to do what she got to do and deal with the consequences, the aftermath, or whatever later. So moving into currently, I always had this philosophy that I never wanted to date anyone that was in my field. I always felt like the men in my field, they're stuck up, they're not down to earth. You know me, Queenie, I like a well-rounded individual. Yes. I like a guy that knows how to put on a suit and knows how to be articulate and educated and is willing to be educated and learn from others, but mm-hmm. then also be down to earth, funny, will dress differently outside of events, outside of work, and just, be well-rounded, a well-rounded individual, kind of like Ludacris. Mm-hmm. That's my favorite example. It's Ludacris. If he's anything like Ludacris, I'm interested in terms of those characteristics.
I heard that, qualities. Right? If there's a Ludacris kind of like out there, holla at your girl, Monica Wiley. All right. Miss Mo is her name, if you ask. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't go there. Don't make me go there. Don't make me go there. And I came to the realization that I was actually drawn to an individual in my field, surprisingly, that I never would have thought, not in a million years, would I would have thought I would be intrigued and impressed. And that individual definitely has a lot going for himself, and very impressive, and is definitely a go-getter and has a bright future ahead. And I was saying to myself that if I happen to end up dating someone that is in my field, and we're both two powerhouses, as you like to say, because you're a powerhouse as well, powerhouses hang together. Okay.
Yes, I know.
Feather flock together.
Yes.
So I just wanted to go ahead and correct you, because you said you was a small nobody or small. No, you're not.
Well,
so
you know.
No, you're not. And we're not claiming that. So moving on. I would wonder how that would work. But I would hope, Queenie, this is what I would hope. I would hope, because we both are powerhouses and go-getters and have a lot to offer professionally and personally, that we know how each other operates, we know how each other tick, we know what our expectations are of each other, and we know our goals for ourselves and our goals as a couple. And so I would hope that because we have those commonalities, that it would make it a little easier for us to, as you said, and I agree wholeheartedly, manage each other and then manage the relationship. Because you've seen some powerhouses that have been able to make it work. Like, look at Nicole Parker and her husband. They've been able to make it work. And they are powerhouses.
Well, Michelle and Barack.
And Michelle and Barack, yes.
I mean,
well, I didn't want to use, because everyone uses Michelle and Barack, but yes, they are powerhouses. They have made it work. Right. So I feel like that if that is who God has for me as an individual in my field, or an individual that's a powerhouse like myself, that it would be, I wouldn't say easier, it would be a little bit more to manage. It would be more manageable because of those commonalities. Yeah. But me back in the day, I always wanted me a blue collar. I was like, you know what, give me someone, that is like a first responder, or
a mail carrier, sexy.
Yes, a mail carrier. We're not going there with that one either. But yeah, so and then going back to marriage, I do want to be married. I do want to be married. Not right now, maybe in another 3 to 5 years. That would be great. But I do want to be married, and I'm going to take the same type of tradition, the same type of faith walk that Devon and Megan Good did. I'm committing myself to a life of celibacy until a ring is put on it. When a ring is put on it, then he will get it. You want to get it? You can put a ring on it. You want to get this? Put a ring on it. So yes. So
I think I must be I must be the heathen in the bunch, which is all good, right? We balance each other out. I have zero thought of celibacy, right? No,
it's been difficult. Don't get me wrong. It has been
I was celibate. I'm kidding. I was celibate for a while, right? And honestly, when I was practicing celibacy, I had the best dating experience. Best. And he and I never crossed the line. We remained celibate, and it was the best experience ever. And it became so great that we were afraid that if we crossed the line, we'd lose the friendship. And so still to this day, it is still an amazing connection.
It is
for he and I, and we just have agreed to not be together, not pursue anything. And we're talking years. So this is not something that's recent. We're talking years. So I get that. Curious if that would transfer into marriage. Oh, celibacy transferred into marriage, Darina. But I just want to go back a little bit. Like when you're, trying to date someone that, or if you're dating or if you're married, because, relationships evolve, we all grow. But if you're involved with a person who is successful, maybe career oriented, and regardless of what success look like to, maybe this person, success in that relationship could be something totally different, right?
Right.
So if that person is whatever level of success that they are at, and you being a go-getter and dreaming and having, you're not finished yet. Sometimes if that person has insecurities, or if they do not have anything going on for themselves, it can create a big problem for the person that's chasing their dream. And this doesn't have to be woman to man or man to woman. It is just what it is, right? I know personally for me, I experienced a situationship where the person was extremely supportive, because again, we had no future plan for each other. So I think naturally we were pushing each other anyway to fulfill our dreams and to do all the things we wanted to do. But in a relationship, I remember when I wanted to go into the military, and my partner at the time was threatened by me wanting to go into the military. You just want to leave me. And I'm thinking, so I continued to change and make all these decisions based on making him comfortable. Now, of course, this was years ago. I no longer do that. But I just wondered, when I go back to Devon and Megan, all right, Megan is a beautiful, beautiful girl. Yes. And she is a hottie all in her own, and doors open for her because she's just simply a hottie, and because she is smart. She's a great actress. She's a brilliant mind, and she has such a beautiful heart that she displays. But I can only imagine that some of the things she probably turned down due to religion and due to her being married to a pastor. and I believe, and this is my own belief, premonition. I just believe that we're going to see her flourish, and we're going to see her doing some crazy, amazing things that we wouldn't have seen her do in that marriage. Now, again, I am not saying that you can't do this in a marriage. I believe that in any partnership, we should build our partner up, and we should push them to be the best that they can be. I think it only benefits us, especially when we are committed to this thing. But I believe that we're going to see that with her. I think that having been, her place, when she was in her faith walk early, and she talks about this, it was not as strong as his was. And so I do believe that some of what we saw was his direct influence. Not good, not bad. It is just what it is.
Right.
But I believe we're also going to see, when she's from up under him, the things that she decided that she's going to do with her life is going to be probably even greater. Just not because just because I think that she's going to be able to live her truth. And when you're living your full truth and your full self, you're a woman coming into your 40s, you're living that fullness. There's something beautiful about not being held back because there's a man or a female lover in your life that is insecure and is scared that if you fly, you're going to fly away from them. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if that's their story. I'm just saying that it was mine. It was my story.
No, and I think that's probably most likely the story of a lot of couples, even currently in current relationships, that they aren't secure enough with who they are and what they bring to the relationship, that they feel as though they have to behave a certain way or try to prevent certain doors from opening, because that they feel like that if that door opens, that she may find something greater, when they don't realize that they chose you. So therefore they already feel that they found the greatest gift, the greatest partner, the greatest better half that they can have. That there's no other compares. There is no other one greater than what I have in front of me.
Yes.
Who I'm connecting with is the greatest that I can have. So no one else compares. There is nothing greater, right? Yep. But with knowing that, like you said, one person in the relationship can know that, which is the person that is, more of a I want to flourish. I want to be able to pursue these different opportunities within my respective fields, and understands that the person that they have in their life is the greatest gift that they can have outside of their professional life. But that person, and even if you are showing them that you are the greatest gift to me, God sent you me, you are the greatest gift, no one else compares, you are my joy, you are the other half of the happiness, you're a part of that happiness that I bring to my professional life. And so no one else can fulfill that part of that happiness that I bring into what I do in my professional role without you. No one else can do that but you, right? And you can show them that, you can tell them that, but that still may not be enough, like you said, because there is that insecurity within that individual that they then have to deal with. And so then when we recognize that we have some insecurities, because I even have some insecurities, and I will go ahead and share this with everybody. My biggest insecurity is, will I be able to really fulfill the role of what a wife should do? I'm not talking about the traditional role. And the reason why I'm not talking about the traditional role is because the relationships that I've been in, the men, they know, due to my disability, I'm not gonna be able to stand up at the stove and cook for over an hour or hour and a half or what have you. So they're willing to fill in that particular aspect, and they're comfortable with that. They had no issues with that. So if they cooked, I cleaned. That was not a problem. That was the partnership. That was, what we committed to and that we were happy with and that we were comfortable with. What I'm talking about in terms of the insecurity that I have with being my husband's future wife is being able to make sure, going back to piggybacking on what you were saying about making sure that he recognizes that nobody else matters to me except you in this relationship, and being able to show that and finding that balancing act, not being able, not failing in other areas of what the expectations is of me in the marriage. And so that's what my biggest fear is. And that is an insecurity that I'm dealing with. And so having said that, I feel that God has me on this transformative journey to address all of those, because I have that piece going on. I have, still dealing with grief and learning how to manage grief and dealing with deaths and unexpected deaths. And Queenie, why it's hard for me to deal with deaths, and especially unexpected deaths, because of what happened to me tragically as a little girl. So dealing with that emotion, dealing with the fact of, because I'm 41, I'll be 42. And so I am, looking at now of segueing into to building a meaningful relationship with an individual that's going to lead to marriage, right? And then being able to be vulnerable enough to show that these are the insecurities I once have, and that I've been able to manage them now. I've dealt with them, but I still will have a few of those, and him embracing that and seeing that may be, some concerns of mine, and showing me that type of support in that area.
There's nothing more beautiful than having that type of support, in your broken places, right? In your wounded places, in the places where you're not so proud of, right? But you manage them, but those things are going to show up in any relationship. And I think it's great to be able to be vulnerable and share that with your partner, and they welcome it because they see the work you're doing, right? You're not offloading it on anyone. You're just saying these things come with me, right? Trust me, the grief of my father's loss comes with me in any relationship. So 2020, I was good for no one. 2021, I was probably still not good for anyone, to be quite honest with you. I tried and I began to open back up, 2021, but I know for a fact that I was not emotionally good for anyone, but I needed someone. So I was able to be honest and say, listen, I need someone, but I can't be responsible for your emotions while I'm still trying to unpack and deal with the loss of my dad. And I also didn't want to look for my father in a man, because I miss my father so much, even to this day. I mean, I'm just really getting around to being able to talk about it. And many people that may be watching know that I'm writing a book on this, on grief, not really specifically about my father, but really on dealing with grief, and how this girl here, the one that shines bright, felt so heavy, low, and I felt like I just really wanted to be in my own grave. And I felt that way for 384 days. So it wasn't like it was a moment. I didn't ebb and flow in and out of wanting to just be covered up in a grave. No, I was there for 384 days, still smiling and laughing and entertaining friends. But I could not have been present for a partner the way I know to be present, because I'm gonna love my boo. I'm gonna love all over you. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Because I
love hard.
Exactly. And I love on people. Right. I love on my children, on my friends. I mean, I love them with everything in me, but I had nothing left. And so I was truly scraping the barrel for the last 2 years, and I needed someone, but I couldn't have been what they needed from me. And so I didn't have an opportunity to be vulnerable because I was afraid that they weren't going to be able to handle it. Anyone that I really dealt with was not going to be able to handle it. But I think that, going through that process, realizing that now I can talk about it, because any partner that I get with has to know, look, I don't know how long this grief is going to be with me. It's not as heavy as it was, but it's a part of my story. It's a part of who I am. And if I need to share it, I need to share it. And I need you to be okay with it. And if you're not built that way, I understand. We can just be friends. and I think in relationship, friendship, courtship, whatever, I think you have to be able to get to a point where you can talk about those vulnerabilities, and you can talk about those insecurities. You can talk about the weight that you carry, especially when you've done the work. And I've done the work, and I know you've done the work, and many of us have. But it's still part of who we are. We're still doing the work,
Still doing the work, Queenie. Yes,
we are still doing the work. So we know you want to be married. I don't want to, because I do say, like, I'm not sure that marriage is my end goal, right? And I say this, let's put it in context, okay? I desire a healthy relationship, period. End of story. Exclamation, period, whatever you want to put there. And if that relationship yields marriage, I'm here for it. But my focus is I'm looking at a partner that can provide healthy practices with me. And because I had an opportunity to marry recently, meaning like 2018. And I remember sitting in the Dunkin' Donuts parking lot. It was so romantic, but I was sitting in Dunkin' Donuts parking lot, and he just was so adamant about marriage. And I remember saying to him, because the relationship was unhealthy, and I said to him, I love you, but I cannot marry you if it's unhealthy. Like, I don't want to just be married for the sake of having a ring and moving into this big house. I need this relationship to be healthy, because I can't function to my highest self. And I try to bring my better angels out in relationships, but I cannot function to my highest self if the relationship is unhealthy and you're not doing any work along with me to make this better. And so I rejected the engagement or the proposal over and again. And that's when I discovered it's not about marriage for me. Because I had an opportunity to remarry. It wasn't that. I had an opportunity to remarry several times, if I'm honest with you. But it winds up being a relationship where he's very possessive. So, I've taken a step back to figure out, why do I entertain those types of people, right? Because, there's a reason why I entertain that. I mean, because I do like a strong man. So I am not gonna lie. I do too, but I do like a strong man, but see, sometimes they get me caught up, right? And the strong and possessive there's a very thin line. And so I had to assess myself, like, okay, my father's a strong man. He's mild, he's meek, he was laid back. But when he said what he said, doggone it, he meant it, and he didn't play about what was his, right? And there's something beautiful about that to me. But the possessiveness, me being a Sagittarius, me having the personality I have, me still being a dreamer, I can't have you possessing me to a fault, to a place where I can't even move, I can't breathe. And so those that wanted to marry me over the last, whatever the time frame is, they all brought that. And so I need a person in my life, and that's why it has to be a healthy, balanced relationship that offers me security and offers me stability, but also offers me a sense of belonging, protection, and home and safety. That's so important to me. I need to feel safe. I'm not safe when you are, like you just said, when you're sitting at my job. I'm not safe. I don't feel safe like that. What I feel is, I feel like you don't trust me. I feel like now I got to hide and I got to change the story. I feel like I gotta, protect my friends from you, my family. I feel like I gotta turn my phone off. I feel like I can do all of those things because you don't trust me as my natural budding self. And that's a problem.
Right. No, you said a lot there. You said a lot there. And you ultimately, I agree with you, ultimately want that person to be your safe place, to just be naked in truth and feel safe being naked with that person.
Yeah.
And
stretch marks and all.
And all, okay. And all, you got that right. But no, I agree with you 100%, Queenie. And I wanted to touch back on a couple of things you said about just being able to be vulnerable and that being okay. And you feeling comfortable with being vulnerable to that person. I know for me right now, I am going to counseling for grief, for you told about your father. And for me, unfortunately, I didn't have that same type of father. My father was very self-absorbed, self-preserved. You know the story about my father as well. And for me, I was looking for a man that was the opposite of my father, but I had my father in the background. For example, when a man would approach me in the street and was interested, became curious and, was interested in me, the first immediate thought that comes to my mind was, okay, what do you want? I'm not about to believe anything that you have to say. I'm most likely not going to trust anything that you're saying pertaining to why you're approaching me, because my thought process was, how can you, and even if I did give them the time and I got to know them a little bit, in my mind, I would give them such a hard time. I mean, I've given men, whether they're just a male friend or the relationships I've been in, I would give them a very hard time, to the point where they probably should have ran away. Even like I have one male friend, he should have ran. He could have. He chose not to, and I appreciate it wholeheartedly, because he ultimately found out where that was coming from in terms of my emotions and my approach to him. But going back to what I was saying, for me, it was, I didn't trust anything that they would say to me, because I felt like whatever you are telling me about myself, I know these things, but I don't feel as though you know them, because my own father, I felt like, didn't see these in me, and he's the one that created me. So if the man that created me doesn't see these qualities or these attributes, how can I trust that you do? And we have no connection. Yeah. So in my mind, it was, I'm not giving you the time of day. I'm not believing anything that you have to say, right? That can be toxic.
Yes.
Yes. And I brought that toxicity in all of my relationships, including the last one. And then the last one was, he was very possessive. So that didn't help, being in that type of relationship as well, because he had some insecurities and some doubts, wanting to hang there at the job till I get off work, or want to be outside to make sure I got out of the garage safely. And I would say to him, there's security here. Okay, I'm fine. I will call you when I get out of the garage. But that just wasn't good enough. So I recognize those issues within myself that I would bring into a relationship. And I feel like the reason why God has me on this transformative journey is because he knows that ultimately really isn't me. I'm not really the type of person to just, well, I'm sassy and I'm gonna go ahead and speak my mind and give it to you 100. I mean, that's just what that is. And so, you're going to come at me incorrectly and you're not giving me, the real, and I'm going to recognize that you're not giving me the real, then yeah, it's go time.
It's that Maryland girl, it's that Marylander coming out.
It's go time, let's go. but independent of that, I ain't got no problem with it. Independent of that, I don't want to be that type of woman that at this age bring that into a relationship. I want healthy practices.
Yes.
Very healthy practices. And in order for the relationship to be healthy, one person can't have healthy practices and the other person is bringing toxic things from the past, hurt, trauma, and pain. That should be your reason for not wanting to bring unhealthy practices into the relationship. And so then if you're bringing unhealthiness and he's bringing healthiness, then half of the apple is rotten because one apple is good and the other apple isn't good. Right. So having said that, then it's not eatable. You can't eat that. You can't digest that. You can't grow on that. You can't plant healthy seeds for it to manifest itself for a healthy blossom relationship. Listen. If one person, if half of the field is growing beautifully and just blossoming and harvesting, and the other half is rotten and
Miss Mo, you freezing up.
Oh no,
you were freezing up, girl. You were telling the good stuff too. Yes. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's get it.
So
listen. Before you move on, because take a breath. Hold up 1 second, because you were preaching. But hold on. One thing you said hit the nail on the head for me. You have to be mindful where you plant them good seeds, because if you plant good seeds in bad soil, you're gonna yield bad crop if you yield crop at all. Right. You cannot plant, because it's not always the soil. It's not always the seed. You got to know what you're bringing, what you're planting. But if one of those things are out of order and it's not right, it's not rich in nutrients, don't have the right set of minerals, whatever it is, honey, it is not going to yield what you desire. So you got to be careful where you plant those good seeds at. You plant them good seeds in that bad soil, you're going to come up with some crap every single time. And I think, and this is, God knows, I know some good men that have really good seed and they're planted in some really bad soil. And they in the struggle, right? We're gonna get to the men in like 6 weeks or 7 weeks. And women do the same thing. We come with really good seed, and here we go trying to put it over here in this bad soil, thinking if we love that soil enough, it's gonna give us exactly what we want. No, it isn't. And I think it's the total opposite. Total opposite. And I think it's very important. And you mentioned this, really understanding our own toxic ways. When we show up toxic, we carry the baggage, and we try to take that into a relationship with a person that has done the work, was pretty okay, was pretty self-aware. And here we are trying to take that mess and run around in their life with our foolishness. That does them no good, right? It does us no good. And then sometimes those same people wind up blaming the other person versus seeing themselves, seeing where they are wrong. And I know for sure, and God knows, women, I love y'all, but I know for sure, sometimes we don't think our crap stinks. Sometimes we don't. But I'll be honest with you, it does. And if you ask that man, he'll tell you. And it's not that we're all bad, because I don't think any of us are all bad. But I do believe that sometimes we carry the baggage of our past and we dump it over in these relationships. God knows I did it to a very, very good man when I was very young. And I've talked about this on a previous podcast. But I learned a lot from that lesson, which was I need to get my own self together, which now I do self-check all the time, probably to a fault, because I'm always like, wait a minute, how did I show up in that relationship? Am I insecure? Why am I insecure? What is it that happened in this episode that made me feel a particular way? And then I lashed out at him about it. I want to make sure that I do the work on myself so that I'm not giving a good man a hard time, because sometimes good men, it take them a little bit of time to grow into who they're going to become. So we may meet him at 30 and he's garbage, right? Same with us, he's garbage. And then come 50, he's grown and he's learned and he's not doing the same things the way he was doing them before. But we're still giving him the same 30-year-old crap, right? So I think we have to be mindful of that, because if I can change and evolve, then I know daggone well another person can change and evolve. So I have to give room for I have to give grace to that, right? And if I'm not, I got to understand why I'm not doing it, right? And I still don't have a right to charge him for that. You know what I'm saying? For what? I got to work on myself. If I don't trust men, this is why I don't trust men. I'm not saying it's not even warranted. I'm not saying it's not valid. I'm saying that I need to own and understand why I don't trust men, so I don't give every man a hard time, because all those men didn't do it.
That's right.
They didn't do it. And and then I think it leaves a bad taste in those men's mouths, because maybe they'll meet a lot of women that are coming with this bitterness and this anger. Then I'm not saying it's not justified, because God knows women, we go through hell. We go through a lot of hell. But I am saying that not every man deserves our venom. They just don't. They don't.
I agree. I agree. And I've learned that in a friendship that I have, that that person did not deserve my actions and my behavior. And so and from that experience, and thankfully we are still very good friends, from that experience and from the last episode of what my father did to me last year, I threw up my hands, Queenie, and I was like, I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to be like this anymore. I don't want to be like this. And I don't have to be like this. And it's okay for me to feel vulnerable and to also show that vulnerability, because I used to didn't show my emotions either. I would give the relationship, or I would express myself a little bit. And then when I feel that my emotions was showing completely, or that I was becoming naked, I'd be like, okay, that's enough. That's enough. That's it.
Yep. Let's pull back.
And that's what I would do.
Cover back
it's
up.
Exactly.
I feel nothing. You good. We cool. I'm good.
Right, exactly.
Oh, I know.
You are.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, you good.
Okay. Right. Now, no, because I want to be, I want to be the true Monica, well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, the true Monica does exist and it did show, but I want to be the great Monica, the
Monica the Great.
Yes. And I want him to receive that from me. And he deserves that from me. I deserve that, and he deserves that. And so I feel like right now, I do have a friend. I do have a friend. We are friends. I do have a friend. We are taking it very, very slow. Very, very slow. And we've also decided that we would not put a title saying, we are monogamous or we are boyfriend and girlfriend. We decided not to do that. What we decided to do was to say that we are very good friends who support one another, who believe in where one another is going, and we are just going to see what will happen. He is being supportive of the celibacy position. It's been, tough. You know what, girl? I'm just holding on.
No, please, no.
I'm just holding on.
I'm just messing with you, girl. Do whatever you got to do.
Okay?
You got to do whatever you got to do. I'm not quick to jump in the bed, so I get it. You got to do what you got to do. For real.
Because I'm just at the point where in previous relationships, I've had all day long, twice on Sunday. Okay. But I've noticed too that those relationships failed. And I'm not saying that they ultimately failed because we were sexually involved and we showed our feelings and love for one another through sexual activity. What I am saying is that, you get more clarity. Yeah. You get more clarity with who you are, with who that person is, and the true essence of the love and respect that you have for each other.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that no physical intimacy has taken place. So the intimacy is on a completely different level.
A whole different level. Totally different level.
And if that person can stick with you with this, right, then you know that, okay, he's it or she's it. Yeah. So for me, I will know he's it. And if he's not it, it will make room for the right person that is meant to be that one that completes me. The other. Honey,
I'm gonna ride with you on this one. And I hope I wind up at one of the weddings of some of my friends that are going this path, and I hope you are one of those. I will tell you this, and look, our time is already wrapped up, girl, but we're gonna stay just a couple more minutes. Y'all, okay. First of all, to all of you that have stayed with us, I see the little eye up there. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. We kind of forgot that we had guests or people, kind of watching. We're like catching up. But I'm just gonna say this because one, love life and relationships. I love talking about these topics because it is my truest desire to help cultivate and discover and educate and learn how to have a healthy, long-standing relationship. And that relationship is not only with a partner, but with myself, with my family, my children, my workplace, my community, really how I show up. It all goes back to that, how I show up. I learn every day about myself. I learn every day about speaking up about what works for me. I learn every day about listening to others tell me what works for them. I learn every day about respecting people's boundaries, and I learn every day about respecting and reinforcing my own. So it's important. It's important that that I help to curate these conversations to open our minds up to talk more in depth about relationships, right? Ourselves and others as well. So I do hope that the journey that you're on leads us to exactly where you want to go. And I want to ride there with you. I personally will share that although I've not taken a vow of abstinence again,
it's all right, girl. It's all right.
And it's not that I'm looking for anyone to do adult activities with. But what I do know is this: I most recently, and this is something I've announced publicly, by way of a girlfriend of mine on December the 14th, 2 days after my birthday, I most recently decided to go online and create a dating profile.
Look at you. I would have never
thought. This is to be continued. We're talking about this on the next show, next Monday. But with that being said, I am not interested in entertaining any more homeboys or friends. I have so many guy friends. And okay. I know there's a couple times you've hit me up because you may see me online with one of them, right? And I'm like, girl, oh, that's my friend. Oh, girl. I'll be like, it's my truth. And they're handsome, great, beautiful, wonderful, successful men that are, I have some amazing men in my circle. I am truly blessed, and I'm being very, and they're fine as well, right? But
they
really are. Some are married, some are have partners, and some are single and absolutely not looking for a relationship. Some are gay, some are straight. But they are really amazing men. I have some amazing men in my circle. I never want anyone to think that I don't. I see the men that are in my circle and I love them as my friends. I just don't need any more friends, meaning I truly desire that if I'm going to entertain someone, it is with intent. I have too many friends, and I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I have more friends than I need. I'm not sleeping with any of those friends. Likelihood of me having slept with any of them is very slim. Like, no. These are truly my friends, my male friends that I can kick it with, that call me. I can tell them that I love them, and there's no weird sense of, oh wait, obligate. No, I just love you. You're my boy. You're my brother. So I don't need to collect any more of those. I don't need to collect any more of those. What I need is someone that is on a life path like I'm on, which is saying, you know what? Yeah, I think I would like to pursue a courtship with you, get to know you with intent, in pursuit of love and happiness and all those things. Not, let's be a friend and see where it goes. I don't want to do that, because see, what happens in those relationships is that someone wants to cross the line to intimacy. That's when I began to practice my abstinence. I'm like, no, because if we're friends, I don't cross the line with friends. I don't. Either I see you as something other than, or you're absolutely my friend. So I don't play that game at all, because I like my friends to stay around, and I would rather have them in my life than in my bed. And I'm very honest about that, and very clear about that. So when y'all see me out here with all these gorgeous men, trust me, they're my friend. Whenever when I change that status on Facebook, y'all have seen me do it. I've done it one time. Y'all see me do it. If they're watching, y'all have seen me do that. I changed that status one time because that was my relationship. Other than that, I am unattached. And this person is my platonic friend, even though he may be fine. I think you've hit me up before, and I'm like, girl, I mean, girl, he's
I sure did. I was like, excuse me, what happened to my phone call? Like, I mean, where was the announcement?
Like, Monica, who? No, he's just.
I was like, oh God, I'm so happy for you. So when we gonna meet? And then I was like, wait, and that was ready to lay you out, right?
Yes.
Then I was like, it was go time. I was like, wait a minute, hold up. What was my announcement at? Like, what happened to? Yeah.
No. And again, like I said, they're amazing guys, but they're truly my friends. And I learn a lot from a lot of the men that you've seen. I put a post up with me and this person, that person. And then a plus, I mean, with the career field that I'm in, and like you're in, we meet men all the time. But I learned so much from these men. And it also, my friends have allowed me to see myself as a woman and see what they go through with women. And it changes how I'm like, I don't want to show up like that for no man that I call myself into. So I learned a lot from my friends. I mean, I'm gonna shout out Wayne. He's not on the live tonight, but I shout him out because Wayne and we'll talk for like an hour. Just about life and relationships and dating. Typically I let him talk about women because I don't really have a man to talk about. But we'll talk about women, and I learned so much from listening to this good brother. And I'm like, wow, there are some good men out here. There really are, because I know Wayne is one of them. He's a good man. He's handsome. He's a good man. There's some good men out here. And I'm just looking for my one, just one. That's all I need. All right, Monica. All right, Monica, listen. We have overstayed our welcome. It is time for us to go. Everyone that, if you're watching, join myself and Monica Wiley again next Monday. We have a special guest. Sabrina Page is her name. I think that's right, Sabrina Page. I know it's Sabrina, but I think it goes by at Sabrina Page on IG. Next week, we'll be talking about life as a caretaker of your parents or someone elderly in your life. And of course, we'll have another great hot topic that we'll kick off, but our special guest will be joining us, and she's going to be talking about what life is like for her having to take care of an elderly parent. And I'm really interested in hearing about this. Oh, that is definitely something that I receive. Okay. I'm really interested in hearing about this, that experience, being a person I've took care of my kids, and I don't know what it's like to flip around and become an adult and have to take care of, an elderly parent or a loved one in the house around the clock, and all the things that goes with that. After wanting to live your life, and suddenly you have to clip your wings so you can take care of the one that you love. it's hard, I'm sure. And I also believe it's rewarding because I remember wishing I could take care of my dad. I wished he just wouldn't have that old darn pride that he had and would have came to so I could, just be there for him. And I also remember feeling the same way about my grandmother when I was 12. I wish she could have just stayed with us and not in a nursing home. And I wish I would have had that opportunity. But the thing is that I am a caring, caretaking person, right? I take care of people. So I believe that's why, for me, it seems like a natural thing to do. But I know for others, it's exhausting. And I think that's human. It's any of us. It can just be exhausting watching our loved ones kind of go through their process of getting older and watching them become less and less active and unable to do all the things to manage and take care of themselves, and then dealing with their emotional baggage that comes with that, the disappointment that they're probably feeling, and the not wanting to be a burden, and the sadness and all of that reality. I believe that that has to be very taxing, but I don't know because I haven't had the liberties or the privilege to do so. But Sabrina's going to come and she's going to talk with us next week on her story. So I think Sabrina's awesome, and she shared a couple of things with me before, and I'm just looking forward to hearing her story. So Monica, put your seatbelt on, girl, because next week might be an emotional roller coaster, girl.
I'm ready. That's all a part of therapy and healing. It's all a part of the human process.
Yes. And that's what this is about. The relationship zone, where we talk about all things love, life, and relationships, or the relationship zone, where we talk about love, life, and all things relationships. This is what we do. We talk about it. We bring, subject matter experts and real people to the show, and we talk real life issues. And hopefully you grow, I grow, any of our guests grow. And we take these conversations back into our real life, and really have an introspective look at who we are, and also stand up for ourselves whenever we know that we deserve better. And we do deserve better oftentimes in our lives. But I also want to make sure that we offer better. So, Miss Mo, can you tell the folks where they can find you at before we close this show out?
Well, if you're interested, and I hope that you are, like you can find me on Instagram at Miss Monica Wiley. I am very active on Instagram. I'm not as active on Facebook, so I probably should do a little bit better with that, but definitely on IG. So at Miss Monica Wiley. And I just want to say, before Queenie, the powerhouse that she is, closes us out, it has been great and amazing. Thank you guys for tuning in to us. I know that we kind of got into, our own little our own little world, that we forgot that others were watching. But see, that's authenticity, though. That's authenticity. That's realness. And so we appreciate you guys joining us. Please come back again next Monday, and I hope to see you then. In the meantime, continue to be safe and healthy. And I'm going to turn it back over to Queenie.
Thank you so much. All right, y'all heard it. You guys got to follow Miss Mo. She is very active on IG, but we're going to get her over here on Facebook as well. You guys can follow me. Y'all can check this out. You can do the replay on YouTube. Give me maybe about another hour. It'll be up on YouTube. You probably can replay it here on Facebook as well. Share it out. I mean, I want people to get to know Miss Monica. She has a few things that is going to be coming up down the pipe. So I want to make sure that you guys keep this name in your minds. Keep it, make sure you follow her here. Share it out, tell people they got to get to know her. She has an amazing story, testimony, and I do believe that we could actually kick off next week along with our other hot topic. We can really introduce who you are and a little bit about your background story before we go into the caretaking that Sabrina's going to talk about. So if you're comfortable with that, Monica, we're going to introduce you to the people next week again. Allow me to reintroduce myself.
Okay. Oh, don't start with my guy. Then that's my guy. Oh, H to the O-V. Okay, I'm not gonna get started. Yes.
All right, guys. Facebook, thank you guys for watching. YouTube, thank you all for watching. Wherever you're hearing this at, thank you for listening. It has been such a beautiful evening, wrapping it up with Miss Monica. Follow me. Y'all know I'm at the Relationship Zone on every platform that's out there, other than Twitter. I'm on Twitter as Queenie. So follow me, and I'll follow you now, Miss Wiley. Good, I know that. Oh, that's my girl. Okay. She is a poet. She's a rock star. She is a freaking rock star. I love her. All right. Okay, guys, I'm getting out of here. I love you guys to life. I'm about to shut off this live on Facebook. So y'all have a wonderful night. Monica, you hang back with me, girlfriend.
Okay, sounds good. I will
All
do
right,
that.
let me get this live stopped. Bye, everyone.
Bye.